Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about 4 bad reasons to stay in your relationship. So I've had my fair share of relationships, and each one has really taught me something about myself, and it's really helped me grow as a person. But there were also, things that happened in those relationships, reasons why we broke up, right? So I wanted to share those reasons with you. So if you're in a relationship right now and you're not sure what's going on, maybe you have some insecurities within yourself like I did, and you're just not sure where to go next, then these are hopefully going to help you out. So the first reason to not stay in a relationship is that you are afraid you're going to hurt their feelings. And honestly, if you're not happy in a relationship, if you feel like the relationship is a dead end, then no matter what time you break that relationship off, it's always going to hurt feelings. It's going to hurt their feelings. It's going to hurt your feelings. Relationship breakups suck. I think we've all been there and we all know that. It's just a part of dating and being in relationships. And no matter how long you wait or how much you try to ease the blow, it's always going to hurt somebody's feelings. So there's really no way to avoid that. And I definitely learned this hard way by realizing I didn't want to be in a relationship anymore, breaking up with the guy and trying to, kind of ease it because he took it really hard. And I was kind of at a point where I had been thinking about this for a while, so I'd kind of accepted it already, and he was devastated. And so I was trying to kind of ease that pain for him by saying, we'll stay in touch, we can stay friends, kind of trying to ease the blow a little bit. I shouldn't use that term, but really just trying to help him out through it. And that honestly just caused a lot of extra pain for myself. I felt really bad about the entire situation, really. And he would call me up crying. He started texting my friends and my family asking how he could get me back. And it really turned into a situation that made me very uncomfortable. And I feel like if I just would have broken it off cleanly and just have said the real reason why I was breaking up with him, and it just ended it like that, and not tried to make him feel better or anything, it would have made it a lot easier for both of us, really, because it kind of just dragged things out. I feel like a little bit more for him, because in his mind he was like, well, I can get you back. There were, certain things I had said, reasons why I wanted to break up, that some were true, but I didn't tell him the real reason why I wanted to break up. And I did that because I was afraid of hurting his feelings. And so he felt like he could win me back in some way, and it turned into a really awkward, uncomfortable situation for the both of us. So I think it's important to keep in mind that, when you're going through a breakup, when you're breaking up with somebody, to be gentle, but to also be honest, because they need to know that if you're done, you're done. And that needs to be the message that gets sent. It can't be like a hemming and hawing kind of a message. It needs to be direct and clean, and ties just need to be cut for a little bit. I know some people do end up staying friends with their exes. I think that's kind of rare, just because there's so many emotions and feelings attached to that. But I think in the beginning, at least, when you're breaking up with somebody, you need to do it and just do it and get it over with. The second thing is that you're afraid you are going to not find anybody else. Like nobody else is going to be the same as they are, and you won't find somebody that has the same connection. Or maybe you are just really insecure about yourself and you think, oh my gosh, nobody else is going to love me like how I am. And when you start thinking about those things, you start staying in a relationship that might not be good for you out of that fear. And that's just going to deteriorate the relationship. It's going to really mess with you and your confidence as well. And I think it's important to remember that I personally don't believe that we're meant for one person. I think you meet people and you start building a relationship with them, and you start building that trust. And it's just because you had one relationship with one person doesn't mean you can't have something similar with somebody else. It's never going to be the exact same, but maybe it'll be better, and maybe it'll be different in some really good ways. It'll help, bring out a better version of you, and will help build you up. There's reasons why you don't want to be in that relationship as it is. And I think you need to focus on those reasons and not focus about what's going to happen next. What if nobody loves me? What if, I don't find anybody else who's the same? You can't really think about those things, because then you're just never going to leave the relationship out of fear, and then you're going to be stuck in this mediocre relationship that you're just never going to be fully happy in. And that's almost worse than not finding somebody who's going to love you the same again. I hope that makes sense. The third thing is that you are afraid you're not worth it. You are afraid that you're not worth the respect of somebody else, that you don't deserve a loving relationship, a happy relationship, a relationship with good communication. And I think this can be a learning experience for everyone. For me, the relationship where I really feel like this stuck out for me was when I got cheated on. And it was back in high school, and I was very naive and innocent, and I felt like, maybe I deserved that. Maybe I did something wrong to cause that pain. Maybe I was the reason. Maybe I pushed him away and pushed him into doing that because of my actions. And sometimes you just have to say stop and really evaluate the situation as if you were a friend or a family member, maybe a sibling or your mom or something. Like if that had happened to my best friend, I would have been like, girl, you deserve so much better. You are worth so much more. If he doesn't respect you enough like that, if he doesn't respect your relationship enough to keep things how they are, then maybe it's time to move on. And you deserve that respect. You deserve that trust in your relationship. And I think it's really important to love yourself before you can really not love another. I know that's like such a cheesy line that's overused, but if you don't love and respect yourself, how can you expect somebody else to do it? And if you don't love and respect yourself, then you don't necessarily know how you should be treated. You don't understand fully how somebody else should treat you, and that can really leave you to staying in a relationship, a bad relationship, a toxic relationship, for way longer than you really should. And I think it's ultimately good just for us to remember that, we deserve a good relationship, and we deserve somebody who we can trust and depend on, and who we feel equals with, and who we feel that we can communicate with. We all have our different ideas of an ideal relationship and all of our different qualities that we find important in our significant other. But what ultimately comes to is that you have to respect yourself. And if you feel like they're not respecting you, that either needs to be a discussion that needs to be addressed, or maybe if it's something that just happens repeatedly, then maybe it's time to leave the situation and find somebody who will respect you how you respect yourself. The fourth thing is being afraid of being alone. So this happened to me in my previous relationship, where I was just going through a tough time overall. I was really just kind of in this transition period of my life, and I was just struggling in general, and I felt incredibly lonely. And I stayed with this guy. I got into this relationship with this guy out of loneliness, and I stuck around for way too long out of loneliness. And coming into a relationship with that fear really just kind of ruined the whole thing, because I don't think we necessarily wanted to both be in the relationship because we wanted to be there. We were both coming in for reasons that weren't genuine. And when that happens, a relationship just can't be successful that way. It's eventually just going to deteriorate. So it's really important to just learn to be okay being alone. I'm still learning that myself. It's a really tough thing, but remember that just because you're alone and maybe lonely in the moment doesn't mean that there aren't people that care about you. Doesn't mean that you don't have friends or family, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to find a significant other later on. We're going to go through these ebbs and flows of life, of being really, really great and happy and high up, and other periods that are low and maybe lonely and where you're struggling, but that doesn't mean it's going to be forever. So it shouldn't be a reason why you're staying in a relationship that's not good anyway. If your relationship is having troubles as it is, take that step. And if you feel like you can't work on it, and if you can't change it and you can't bring things up, then make that decision, respect yourself, and pick up the courage and just break off that relationship, because you're leaving something that's mediocre for something that can be way better later on, and you just don't know what that is yet. But you'll never know if you don't leave this mediocre situation right now. So those are my 4 reasons not to stay in a relationship. I hope that you guys, if you're struggling with a relationship right now, if you're going through some tough times, I hope this helped you out. I am freezing right now, so I'm going to turn this off and put on my jacket and edit this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.